CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. A snowfall warning remains in effect for Lethbridge in southern Alberta and has been in place for most of the day. The city has been walloped with almost 27 centimeters of snow. The blast of winter has some local residents calling for changes to the city's snow removal program. Terry Vogt explains.
Waking up to a big dump of snow isn't everybody's idea of fun, but Leslie Villeneuve calls it a great snow day.
Snowboarding, skiing, taking my grandson on his bat sleigh. So that's this is beautiful. I love it. Sorry guys out there that don't.
As southern Alberta residents shoveled to clear their sidewalks and free their vehicles, the city was plowing, sanding, and salting its priority 1 routes, the major roads used by the public to get to and from work. But under the current city policy, most residential streets and alleys are considered priority 4. That's far down on the snow removal plan. Some residents are calling for changes. One city resident is actually starting an online petition using Facebook to help gather signatures. It calls for the snowplows to hit the streets as soon as the snow starts falling. It says residents should be getting to work on time and safely, and that buses should be running on schedule instead of being stuck or blocking traffic. But the city's transportation manager says during major storms, crews often have to leave lower priority streets in order to keep the high priority ones open.
Within our policy, we make sure that there's reasonable access to all property. So if emergency services vehicle or a vehicle that's reasonably equipped for winter driving can't get access, or if it drifts in, or the wind blows everything in, then we actually do emergency snow removal or removal on a case-by-case basis.
Whether the petition gains much ground remains to be seen. A lot of residents say days like this may be a hassle, but they're part of living in southern Alberta.
Well, the roads aren't great. You just got to take it easy, go slow, and hopefully you got your winter tires on.
They're trying to clear them, I guess, but they're still very slick. 4-wheel drive is probably the way to go.
I think the city does a good job on the main streets, but it's these streets, guys, these streets.
Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The city has hired some private contractors to help with snow removal during the storm. 3 extra graders were brought in today, and the city will be hiring trucks over the weekend to remove the snow from the downtown area. Now, Calgary's received between 20 and 25 centimeters of the white stuff over the past 24 hours. The snow there has shut down highways and caused hundreds of collisions and airport delays.
So I always have like 3 gallons extra in my truck.
That's 3 gallons of extra washer fluid. That's what it takes to keep Raj Gruel on the road in conditions like this. He's a long-haul trucker who spent the night stuck in Sicamous when authorities closed Highway 1 because of the weather. Many people tried to make up the time getting back on the highway today. A much better drive than last night. RCMP have now identified the 2 people killed in a rollover near Brooks yesterday morning due to icy conditions. An Econoline van hit the ditch and rolled several times down a steep embankment along Highway 36. 70-year-old David Kleinasser and 71-year-old Sarah Kleinasser, both of the Green Acres colony near Bassano, died of their injuries. Icy roads were blamed for the crash. Now here's a look at southern Alberta roads right now. The AMA lists most highways in fair winter driving condition. Those are indicated in yellow with drifting snow and icy sections along with some snow-covered shoulders. The red, though, that indicates poor winter driving conditions with roads having icy sections, more snow-covered, and there is blowing snow reducing visibility. Okay, Dory Rossiter, let's recap. How much snow has fallen and how much more is going to fall?
Yeah, we're getting all kinds of numbers, Jackie. The reality amounts look like right around the 27 centimeter mark for the city of Lethbridge. Some people have gotten a little less. Some people have reported a huge amount more, and I think they're doing their measurement in some drifted areas. That's my guess. So I'm kind of playing it safe, saying right around the 27 centimeter mark is what we had in the city of Lethbridge, but some areas got more. The good news is that we only have about another, several hours to put up with any potential snowfall. By tomorrow afternoon, the taps should be turned off. So I'll tell you all about it in a couple of minutes.
We will be waiting for that. Thank you, Dory. A Lethbridge man accused in the city's first double homicide has pleaded guilty to 2 charges of manslaughter. The bodies of 2 men were found in Adams Park on Mother's Day in Lethbridge. Police say 35-year-old Marty Steele and 30-year-old Aaron Thacker were stabbed to death. In court today, 28-year-old Cody Blue Favell admitted to stabbing Thacker multiple times and Steele once in a drug deal gone bad. The defense and prosecutor made a joint submission for a prison term between 13 and 15 years with no chance of parole until half of the sentence is served. Favell will undergo a psychiatric exam as part of a pre-sentence report. His sentencing will happen January the 3rd. 3 victim impact statements will be read before a sentence is decided. A Medicine Hat woman has been sentenced to life behind bars with no chance of parole for 10 years. 28-year-old Wendy Scott, who was originally charged with first-degree murder, pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of second-degree murder this past summer. There is now a strict publication ban in place because of matters ongoing, which means we can't identify the victim or how they were killed. Scott must also provide a DNA sample to the national database, and she faces a lifetime weapons ban. Well, the man accused in the disappearance of a Medicine Hat nursing student will remain behind bars for now. The Crown presented new evidence in the case against Jerison Stepanski, causing a delay in proceedings for bail hearing. The 34-year-old stands accused of the second-degree murder of Amy Lewis. Witnesses are expected to be re-examined in the case. A decision on bail has been set over now until November the 21st. An Olympic boxer has been sentenced to 6.5 years in prison in connection to a beating and robbery near Staveley 2 years ago. 48-year-old Brent Kosolowski of Calgary was set to stand trial in Lethbridge on Thursday. Instead, though, he pleaded guilty to aggravated assault, unlawful confinement, uttering threats, and robbery. In September, Kosolowski and another man tried to rob a farm near Staveley. Man tried to stop them and was severely beaten. Kosolowski represented Canada at the 1988 Summer Olympics and then turned pro and fought for a world title. He was credited for 29 months served in pretrial custody, leaving him with just over 4 years left to serve. His co-accused, Dale Corrigan, also from Calgary, faces the same charges and will be in court November the 19th. A Lethbridge man has been sentenced to 10 years in federal jail for sexually assaulting his stepdaughters multiple times. The assaults began when the girls were just 6 or 7 years old and lasted for around 6 years. The man pleaded guilty to sexual contact, making, printing, and distributing child pornography, among other things. Each girl was assaulted up to 20 times. The man can't be named to protect the girl's identity. And a Vulcan man accused of sex crimes and attempted abduction will be back in court next week. 19-year-old A.J. Gregory is charged with 4 counts of sexual assault, sexual interference, and sexual touching. The charges stem from alleged sexual relations with 2 girls under the age of 16. Gregory is also charged with attempted kidnapping. The Crown wasn't available to deal with the matter today, so the case was set over until November the 15th. And logging protesters were not able to take legal action against the province over logging in the Castle Special Area as they'd hoped. 5 of the people involved in last winter's Castle logging protest were behind the lawsuit. They argue the logging license for the area southwest of Pincher Creek is invalid. Now, the issue is what the protesters call the lack of effective consultation and the fact that the area is considered core grizzly bear habitat. However, the license for the project has since ended, and so the case now has been put over. Several East Kootenay communities overrun with deer are asking the BC government for help. The municipalities of Cranbrook, Kimberley, and Fernie are among communities signing a letter to the Environment Minister Terry Lake. Local officials want the province to consider providing advice, more money, and research to those who suffer when deer wander through the neighborhoods. The cities of Penticton, Cranbrook, Kimberley, Grand Forks, and Invermere have spent about $190,000 on deer control this year alone. Students at the University of Lethbridge say it's not enough to be against racism. They say steps need to be taken to end it by speaking out. The anti-racism campaign was launched this morning in the atrium of the university. Organizers say while the university has a large international student base, the bulk of the racism they notice is against Aboriginal people. They say the only way to truly end racism is to be proactive in educating others on its effects.
We need to just address the situation as a whole. We need to bring it up because a lot of people are just afraid to talk about it. And a lot of people are confused about what kind of stereotypes there are out there, or they're creating these own stereotypes in their head.
You know, it's not enough to just raise awareness about racism. You need to be more proactive than that and be more anti-racist and take kind of more prescriptive measures to be that way.
Organizers say they will continue to spread their message over the coming weeks and months. Well, there are several Remembrance Day events planned for southern Alberta to honor the men and women who participated in the two great wars, the Korean War and those involved in peacekeeping duties around the world. In Lethbridge, ceremonies will begin at 9 Sunday morning at Exhibition Park. Just after noon, the C-17 Globemaster is scheduled to fly over the Lethbridge Cenotaph. Colehurst Community Centre is hosting the ceremony 10:30 sharp, including performances by the Lethbridge Fire Department Pipes and Drums. Medicine Hat's South Alberta Pipe and Drums will play at the Esplanade all day on Sunday. And in Nanton, the Bomber Command Museum ceremony will give special focus to pilots starting at 10. Well, a benefit concert helped raise over $500 for Aboriginal students at Lethbridge College. Armin Duck Chief performed for a packed house at the DA Electric Barn last weekend. The singer-songwriter put his musical talents to work in the hopes of raising money to go towards emergency bursaries. Duck Chief is a general studies student and was the winner of the Battle of the Bands in Calgary. He says he knows how difficult putting yourself through school can be, so he's trying to make a difference.
The First Nations, Métis and Inuit student body that benefits from this. The emergency funding, emergency bursary, actually, it's to help students that may fall short financially or may go through hard times during their semester and might need that bail.
And on to the financial markets today. The TSX closed slightly higher after 2 days of losses on fiscal cliff fears in the U.S. Here are the closing numbers.